It's time for the Rutherford County High School Football Show.
Today's show is brought to you by Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, your hometown plastic surgeon that has been voted your favorite for the last several years. Dr. Webb and staff are honored to wish you a safe and successful football season. Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. The Yard Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off. Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give him a call at 615-596-2006. Garbison Construction, they have been impacting and investing in people's lives in Rutherford County for nearly 3 decades, providing quality construction services for additions, remodels, and new construction on residential and commercial projects. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk.
And now, from Toots Restaurant in Murfreesboro, please welcome the hosts of the Rutherford County High School Football Show, Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale and Nick Gould.
Good morning and welcome to the Rutherford County High School Football Show. I'm Nick Gould and alongside me is Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale. We're here at Toots Restaurant on Broad Street in Murfreesboro to give you everything you need to know about high school football for all 11 teams here in Rutherford County. Hope everyone had a nice fall break last week. It was a much needed rest for some of us, but glad to be back here in full gear. Today we will recap our only game played last week and take a look at how that result and some of the other games across the state affect the standings. We will be announcing this week's Player of the Week and previewing next week's matchups, finishing up with our selected Rutherford County Game of the Week. The Rutherford County High School Football Show is presented by Webb Aesthetic, your hometown plastic surgeon who has been voted your favorite for the last several years. Dr. Webb and staff are honored to wish you a safe and successful football season. With most Rutherford County schools on fall break last week, it was a quiet Friday night for most teams, but PCA did take to the road to play Ezel Harding, as they will have their bye week this coming Friday. This was a big region game for the Lions, where they came out victorious, 16-9. This PCA segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Jonah Wilson scored on the ground to cap off the Lions' opening offensive drive, and Tatum Marks ran one in on the closing drive late in the fourth. Ethan Rowland was 2 for 2 on extra points, and their other 2 points came from an Ezel Harding wayward snap through the back of the end zone, resulting in a safety. Big win for the Lions as they now clinch a playoff spot, Monty.
Huge win, and you thought going in it would be close. You can't always compare scores, but I compared scores, and they were pretty similar in many regards. And I think PCA's kind of getting the hang of these close games, though. You've got to learn how to win them. They have learned how to win them. They've done it in comeback fashion. They've done it holding people off at the end of the game, and to get into the playoffs your first year, I don't know that I don't know if anybody expected that or not, and they're going to be more than likely a 3 seed, so they would still have to travel. But really, just a great job by PCA. They've they started off the season with a couple tough losses, but showed they could compete. And where they were then and where they are now is just leaps and bounds.
And strong performance by the defense. Saw they fumbled the opening kick, but were able to hold them off. 4 and out and deep in their own zone. Let's see, and then Caleb Kaywood and Jonah Wilson, they had some big plays on the defensive side of the ball. Wanted to give them a quick shout out there. And then I think they got it going from the beginning. They turned it around, had a big play on their opening offensive drive.
Yeah.
And Aiden Bolden, I know he had a big play on that drive.
Really good athlete. He's just a sophomore. He's a big receiver, tight end, hybrid, whatever you want to call it. And he has really shined for them this year.
You got to rely on those kind of players to put together that kind of drive there. And then I also saw Ezel almost took the lead, and their touchdown was called back. I think it was offensive holding there.
Yeah. Those are killers.
Killers for Ezel, and a good break for the Lions, right?
Exactly.
And I think they ended up with a field goal there, tying it up 9-9. After that safety, and then a nice 66-yard drive late in the game in the fourth quarter to polish it off.
And this is where I've talked about the maturation of a team. Early in the year they might not have been able to finish that game off. Now they expect to, and they've proven that they can. And that was a big game. They were probably going to get into the playoffs anyway, but it's nice to clinch and have 3 weeks left.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and they're going into fall break. I know MTCS is coming up, and that's a huge one for them.
yeah, it is, and that's one of those tests where you really are games. They've only had 2 games this year, which they were kind of just outmanned. Going in, you would probably think so against MTCS, but you're catching them later in the year. You're playing at I'm sure the coach doesn't think they're playing at their highest level. Coaches never do, but they are playing at a really high level for them, I think, right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that game on down the line.
And that's your PCA segment brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. PCA is now sitting at the top of region with 2 region wins. They will have 2 weeks to prepare for MTCS, and if they win, I think we will see a 3-way tie for first with Friendship, MTCS, and PCA. If MTCS wins, then they will be on top, and PCA will likely finish in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, and the MTCS would also clinch.
Clinch with the victory, yep. Yep, looking through that region, I mean, Kings Academy is definitely out. Ezel, I guess they'll probably get in, maybe as the 4th seed there. Now, that probably depends on Ezel versus Kings. No, they've already played, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat them by 4 points. And PCA had beat them by 5, so that's why I picked it so close.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll just go by the score. More than likely, this region, though, it's going to end up more than likely. Just putting my crystal ball here. It's going to end up being MTCS 1, Friendship 2, PCA 3, and Ezel 4.
Sounds about right. Well, congratulations again to PCA clinching their first playoff berth. Stick with us as we continue to look at the standings and how some of the games played last week affected our regions. We'll also be announcing this week's Rutherford County Player of the Week right after the break.
I'm Dr. Webb. I'm the owner and operator of Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both.
I meet with patients who are ready to schedule surgery. We talk about their pre-op appointments, what to expect before surgery, what to expect during and after surgery.
We graduated medical school and nursing school the same day, and I had things that I believed in and stood by that I wasn't willing to compromise on. So when he came home, we had to discuss that we were on the same page with how we treated patients and staff. We want them to feel like they're part of our family.
If you're looking for a great deal, look no further than the Yard Sale Store. Our locally owned and award-winning store is stocked with daily arrivals of new items at unbeatable prices. From housewares to sporting goods, flooring to furniture, we have everything you need. With our huge selection and discounts up to 90% off retail, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Visit us today at one of our 3 convenient locations or check out our website, yardsalestore.com, to see our latest arrivals.
When it comes to building or remodeling, you need a builder you can trust. Look no further than Garbison Construction. Voted one of Rutherford County's best builders, we deliver quality every time, from start to finish. As a locally owned company with decades of experience, we're proud to serve Rutherford and surrounding counties. Let us help make your dream a reality. Visit GarbisonConstruction.com to learn more.
He shoots, and he scores!
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out and he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Sticking with us here on the Rutherford County High School Football Show. Our teams may have been off, but some of the region opponents were playing on Friday night. Let's take a look at some of the changes in Region 5 1A. Cornersville beat Wayne County, which all but eliminates Wayne County from the playoffs. Moore County beat Collinwood, which basically decides the top of the region. Huntland beat Lookout Valley, which doesn't really have an effect, being an out-of-region game. Most teams still have 2 region games left in that region, with Huntland having 3 and Wayne County with just 1 more to go. Monty, how are you thinking this one's going to shake up here in the final stretch?
Well, I think Moore County's the class of the league, but they still got to decide that. Them and Collinwood obviously haven't played. They're both, well, no, they've already played Collinwood, so they got a really good quarterback at Moore County. Probably will be a Mr. Football finalist. His name's White, last name. You look, there's 2 spots and there's 3 teams. You've got Cornersville at 2-2, Richland at 2-2, Eagleville 1-3, but Eagleville plays both of them. So their postseason really, it's in their hands. They're not having to hope we win this game, but we need this team to lose. You go out and win your last 2 region games, you're the 3rd seed in the playoffs.
You'll be doing both. That team you need to lose will be the team you're beating, right?
That's right. So, yeah.
All right. Well, now to Region 5 6A. We had 3 games from this region played last Thursday. CPA beat Antioch, East Nashville beat Cane Ridge, and Rossview beat McGavick. None of these were region games, so they honestly do not matter too much. Antioch has been perfect in region play and lost all of their non-region games this year. I guess they know what games matter the most. McGavick is likely out, so it'll be up to Laverne to see if they can squeeze past Cane Ridge or not.
Yeah, the big loss for Laverne was the 3-0 game when they were without their quarterback the entire game. Of course, Cane Ridge has used 5 or 6 quarterbacks this year. They've had a rash of injuries. It's right now Smyrna and Antioch have the upper hand because they haven't lost and they've still yet to play one another. Stewarts Creek at 1-1 there. They have Smyrna this week. We'll talk about that game. For them to still be talked about seriously as having a chance to win this region, they'll have to win this week against Smyrna. So still a lot of things to be decided in that division, though, in that region.
Yeah, I guess I'd see if Laverne wins one or maybe both of their final region games, they'll probably get in. And that would be if Cane Ridge loses both of theirs.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like it's all up to Smyrna and Stewarts Creek. Who's going to win today and potentially win the region.
See, the thing about Cane Ridge and Laverne, they're both 1-2, but it's like Cane Ridge is almost a game ahead of them anyway.
That head-to-head tiebreaker.
Head-to-head, yeah. So, like I said, a lot to decide. Weeks 9, 10, and 11.
We're getting into the thick of it right here.
Yep.
And no games were played in Region 3 6A last week. Rockvale and Siegel will be playing Hendersonville teams with no real weight to them. Oakland is taking on Coffee County, 1 versus 6, and Riverdale is playing Blackman, 2 versus 5. We'll be getting into those matchups a little bit later. But Monty, how do you think this region's starting to shape up?
Well, I think most people thought going in, obviously Oakland, until somebody beats them. I think they've won 52 region games in a row. And that's hard to grasp that, and I think everybody thought Riverdale would be right there with them. It has, and you know, I think everybody thought the last couple spots there'd be 3 teams battling for it. You know, Coffee County lost so much from last year, probably the best team they've ever had last year, and so.
Yeah, some of those players, they're still playing at the next level, the Coffee County boys.
Oh, yeah. And but I think, you know, I think the injury to Thomas Santil, quarterback for Siegel, it's certainly thrown a monkey wrench in that. I mean, as a coach, as a team, you got to have that next man up mindset. But at the same time, I mean, let's be honest, injuries are part of the game, but there are some that you cannot absorb. You have some injuries that aren't, they're season changers. And taking the dynamics play that Santil brings to the table away from them, you know, that's a guy that plays some defense too. And, you know, he's a dual threat quarterback. You know, he came out lighting it up early in the year. Obviously, the schedule got a little tougher as time went on, but still, that's a tough blow to, you know, if they get in the playoffs, they will certainly earned it.
Yeah, that's true. They got Rockville last week of the season, and that's looking like, you know, a play-in game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think most all these teams in this region, the 3 we mentioned, you know, Rockville and Siegel,
Blackman,
they're kind of in playoff mode right now. Not this week as much for some, I guess, with non-league games, but, you know, with the rest of their league games, you're in playoff mode. You know, you lose, your chances drop significantly as far as having a chance. Now, granted, we're probably going to be waiting till the midnight hour, so to speak, the last week of the season to start filling in all the playoff holes. But, you know, every loss is so magnified right now, as every win is magnified on the opposite end.
That's true. Yeah, exciting to see how it plays out. We will definitely be watching. We at Main Street Media and the Murfreesboro Post believe these student athletes deserve recognition for all of their hard work seen on display every Friday night. Monty, who is this week's Rutherford County Player of the Week?
Well, we had one game, and it was PCA winning 16-9. We'll go with Tatum Marks, the quarterback for PCA, engineered the final scoring drive and scored himself to lift the Lions to a 16-9 win. He's done a good job taking care of the ball this year, which that's the number one thing. And he's learned a lot on the fly, and he's going to be a really good player for him.
Well, congratulations to you, Tatum. You know, take the week off, enjoy it. You're going to have a big challenge coming up here in a week and a half now. So we'll be right back with Monty's picks and this week's selected Rutherford County Game of the Week right after the break.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your past to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out, he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
I'm blessed through the blood of Christ, with a beautiful wife and family, to have served in the United States Navy, now serving the great town of Smyrna, and blessed that all of our boys went to Stewarts Creek. I'm Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage, with over 20 years experience in mortgage lending. If you're buying your first house or your fifth, refinancing or building your dream home, please call or email me, or come see me at the South Lowry branch. It would bless me to assist in financing your dreams. Why the Hawaiian shirt? Closing on your home is a celebration, not a business meeting.
Go Hawks!
If you're looking for a great deal, look no further than the Yard Sale Store. Our locally owned and award-winning store is stocked with daily arrivals of new items at unbeatable prices. From housewares to sporting goods, flooring to furniture, we have everything you need. With our huge selection and discounts up to 90% off retail, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Visit us today at one of our 3 convenient locations or check out our website, yardsalestore.com, to see our latest arrivals.
Watch it! Did that guy even see that girl on her bike?
Just like looking for other cars before switching lanes, drivers should keep their eyes out for those traveling on bikes. When a crash occurs between a vehicle and a bike, it's the cyclist who is most likely to be injured. Give cyclists room and do not pass too closely. Riders have the same rights and responsibilities as those behind the wheel.
Be aware, be alert. Brought to you by THSO, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both.
People come to plastic surgery offices because they want to improve something that they feel is a flaw in themselves.
About 10 years ago, our men's procedures were probably about 10% of what we did. Nowadays, it's more like 30 or 40%. Eyelid lifts, liposuction, and we even do hair transplants here.
We are part of the community, and we want to be able to walk around and see faces in the community that we've made happy.
Staying with us as we continue to cover some of the best football played in the state right here in Rutherford County. Next up, we have Monty's picks. Monty is 47-16 on the year, picking game winners, so I'm interested to hear who he will be picking this week. First, let's talk about Eagleville, and this Eagleville pick is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. The Eagles are traveling to Loretto for their last non-region game of the year. Monty?
Tough assignment for the Eagles. So first of all, as I said, it's a pretty good trip. You're right, pretty much right in Alabama. You got a Loretto team that's undefeated. They're in 2A, and they're just a really, really good football team. I would have to certainly favor them to win this one.
Okay, well, tough opponent. Hope the Eagles, can pull out some underdog there. Next up, we have Siegel. This Siegel pick is brought to you by Garbison Construction, who provides quality construction services for additions, remodels, and new construction on residential and commercial projects in Rutherford County. Siegel is making the trip to Hendersonville to take on Beach. Monty?
Well, like we went over earlier with Thomas Santil out, that's a big loss. But it's not just about who plays quarterback. Everybody on their team needs to elevate their game. The defense has to play better. Offense, you need to avoid penalties. Do everything you can to help your backups. And I would probably have gone with Siegel in this game. But being on the road and without Santil, I'm going to go ahead and pick Beach in a close one.
Yeah, and that's not their first time going up there this year. I know they had trouble finishing off Hendersonville.
Yeah.
But they'll be looking to turn things around this week. Moving on to Laverne. This Laverne pick is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. The Wolverines will be playing in Mount Juliet on Friday as they take on Green Hill. Monty?
Another non-region game. You almost wish you were playing a region opponents from here out, but schedules didn't work that way. Green Hill's got an outstanding team. Laverne has struggled. They did some good things in their last game. They got a couple defensive touchdowns and offensive touchdowns at McGavick after having not scored in region play all year. So they are on a little uptick, but this is going to be way too much for them, I think.
Yep. Next we have Rockvale. This Rockvale pick is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. The Rockets are taking on Pope Prep at home in their last non-region game. Monty?
Yeah, this is a head scratcher for me. I don't really have a good feel one way or the other about this. I'm banking on Rockvale playing a complete game, which they do. I think they'll win. But like I said, both these teams have been kind of up and down. But I'm going to go with Rockville at home.
Yeah. Rockets. You know, we're seeing a lot of Hendersonville, Murfreesboro matchups this year. I know Beach has been an opponent for multiple teams. Now we're playing Pope Prep out in Hendersonville. Got Hendersonville High School. Just we're seeing a lot of that kind of intermingling there.
You know, I appreciate that too. I know for years Hendersonville played Oakland. They opened the season every year, and you know, Hendersonville took some pretty good thrashings, but their coach had the mindset, let's come out and play the best team that we can find, and that'll tell us where we're at. And by the end of the year, Hendersonville typically had a good team that did a little damage in the playoffs, and they never got matched up with Oakland for a rematch, I don't think. But their coach was of the mindset it's good for us to go play the best team.
Yep. And now let's get into our inter-region matchups. First, we have Oakland. This Oakland pick is brought to you by the Art Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off. The Patriots will be taking on Coffee County at home.
Well, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, tough season for Coffee County to come into this region.
Yeah.
Based on just what they lost personnel-wise, and it's been a struggle for them, and it's going to be a struggle on Friday night. Oakland's biggest thing is they got to go out and take care of their business. They can't be looking at the jersey name on their opponent. They got to go out and play their game and try to keep getting better every week, which is what they've been doing, really since week 2. So, Oakland big.
Their goal is to win by halftime and put in the backups, right?
Yeah. They've been able to do that a lot here of late.
Next, let's talk about MTCS. This MTCS pick is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. The Cougars are going out east to take on the Kings Academy. Monty?
Kind of a mirror image of the Oakland game. Go take care of your business, take care of yourself. It's a game that on paper it's a mismatch, but they do play it on grass or turf these days. But yeah, MTCS big.
Yeah. Stewarts Creek is going to the other side of town to take on Smyrna in this rivalry region matchup.
This is a good one.
Yeah. This Stewarts Creek at Smyrna pick is brought to you by Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give them a call. And the Art Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off. Red Hawks versus Bulldogs in this fight for second place in the region. The keys to the town of Smyrna.
That's right. I need to go to that yard sale place,
yeah,
by the way.
It's good.
I need to go check that out.
They got power tools, furniture.
Always looking for a bargain, This is a great game, I think. Two solid teams, Stewarts Creek has probably been the better team throughout the year, but Smyrna is such a different team. And I think they proved that a couple of weeks ago when they beat East Nashville. That one really threw me for a loop when they beat them. They're playing really good defense, getting a little better offensively, but, not making as many mistakes, certainly. And, it was a rebuilding year for Smyrna, yet you look, like I said, their region, we talked about that, over a month ago, how that was anybody's for the taking.
We didn't expect Smyrna to come in. We were kind of hinting that it might be Stewarts Creek for the taking, but
and Smyrna always seems to raise its level of play when it plays Laverne or Stewarts Creek. They really do. I mean, they take a lot of pride in Laverne's in Laverne, but the school's on Sam Ridley Parkway.
Yeah.
So, it's technically Smyrna. It's essentially Smyrna. They take a lot of pride and still say, we're still the top dogs, no pun intended. They take a lot of pride in it, but, I'll go with Smyrna.
Smyrna. That's going to be a close one. They're probably going to have to score on defense, right? That's kind of been their thing here lately.
They'll have to set up points with defense. Yeah.
Some interceptions. Aiden Augustine, I know he's gonna have to come out firing.
Flip the field, whatever it may be with the special teams, because Stewarts Creek's got some weapons.
They do. They got a solid rushing attack. But anyway, that's gonna be a really good game to watch.
I think so.
Now let's go to our Rutherford County Game of the Week. This week's matchup has been coined the Backyard Brawl. There's even more on the line this year as head coach Will Kreisky will be hosting his twin brother, Matt Kreisky, on Friday night. Blackman Blaze against the Riverdale Warriors.
Well, the brothers have played one another about every year for the last 3 or 4 years. This is a little different, though. That was a non-region game for both. This is huge for both. Riverdale's trying to stay right there to where it has a chance to win the regular season championship. Blackman is needing another W somewhere at least to get into the playoffs. And you can, a lot of times in these type of games, you can throw the records out. You see it happen all the time. But Riverdale certainly the favorite. But Blackman has played a whole lot better of late. I look back to that first game of the year. I was like, oh man, they're really going to have a tough time of it this year. But they've regrouped and gotten better and better. But I don't think it's good enough to beat Riverdale this week. So I'm going to go with Riverdale.
Going with the Warriors. So that's all we have for this week on the Rutherford County High School Football Show. Tune in next Tuesday at 10:30. We have a lot of football to discuss. We'll be right here at Toots Restaurant in Murfreesboro. See you then.
You've been watching the Rutherford County High School Football Show with Murfreesboro Post sports editor Monty Hale and Nick Gould. Read this week's Murfreesboro Post for all the latest news about Rutherford County High School sports.
The Rutherford County High School Football Show has been brought to you by Webb Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, Moxie Pest Control, The Yard Sale Store, Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage, Garbison Construction, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Rutherford County football.